During World Cup matches, African teams are always eliminated in the very initial stages. None has reached the finals. I think none has reached the semis. One or two could have reached the quarterfinals. I'm not a great football fan. What normally happens, after African teams have been eliminated, most African fans transfer their support to France, because France has always been an African team, going by the number of Africans in that team. At least the days I used to watch football. Not much of it though. So you can imagine how sad it was for African supporters when the most popular player in the French team, Zinedine Zidane, I think they call him Zuzu or something like that, was given a red card in the match played in Germany in 2006, in such a critical match. Why was Zidane given a red card? He wasn't given a red card because of a hard tackle. He wasn't red carded because he played handball. Neither did he insult the referee. We just saw him turn back and give a certain player whose name I can't remember because I'm not a great fan, like I've said, a very hard head, tap, and the man went on the floor. The ref didn't even see it. And it was before these days of what you call VAR, whatever they are called, VAR, video assisted refereeing. But somehow the referee got to know that a player had hit another player and rushed to give him a red card. Why did he get the red card? We are told this player said nasty things about Zinedine's mother. We also recall when we were growing up, those who are young, those who are old like me, and perhaps younger, and young people will be aware that there were frequent boys' fights in the estates, in the villages, as we looked after cattle, for many reasons. But none topped the reason for boy fights more than an insult directed at your mother. And another thing, whenever you were hit by another boy because you had insulted their mother, your friends never came to your defense. We always used to operate in some kind of gangs, boy gangs, you know, from one ridge to the other, from one estate against another estate in Nairobi. Nobody came to your defense. Your opponent worked on you. Who want you if you are weak? If it was because you had mentioned the boy's mother. Finally, kuna ile vijana wanaita mchongoano, young people. Vijana wanachongoana. Katika kuchongoana, buda yako anakaa namna gani? Your dad is what? Baba yako anakaa kama nini? Kwenyu muko namna gani? Nobody ever chongoa the other kwa kumwambia mama yako ana sura kama ya bakuli. Never. Never. There are limits. A mother is, when you cross the red line, is when you have talked about somebody's mother in a negative way. So it was very sad this week when people we call honorable members, and you don't even have to be honorable to mind what comes out of your mouth. You are as good as what comes out of your mouth. When a leader says things such as those said by Ngeno and Sudi, the extent to which your leader becomes highly questionable. It is extremely bad. I have read in social media, I've heard in many places, what insults were there. Those who are saying point at the insult, I want to tell them like this. When people listen to you when you talk, they get meanings out of what you say. Some meanings are even unintended. Maybe you don't even know. But quite often some people think they are clever. So they hide certain words. But the people get meanings beyond what you say. If you have a quarrel with Uhuru Kenyatta, what would be the mother's name doing in it, in the quarrel? You have every right as a politician to attack Uhuru Kenyatta. Say all manner of things you want to say about him. But why would you bring in the mother? Why? An insult is not just shenzi, pumbavu, we mjinga. We read the total of the things you are saying. We look at the body language. We know what you mean. Something else people have said. Kwani yeye ni nani? Who is she? What has she done for this country? My friend, I tweeted and said, and I still stand by it, Jomo Kenyatta was the president of this country. You can't erase that from history. You can't. Mama Ngina Kenyatta was our first lady. You can't change that. You can't also deny and remove it from her that she was a freedom fighter, was detained in her own right. You can't. That is part of history. You can't deny the fact that she was head of the first family for a long time. That you can't deny. However much you hate Uhuru Kenyatta, however much you hate Mama Ngina Kenyatta, she was the first lady. She brought up the person who has become your president. That you can't deny that. It's biological. It's historical. You can't deny it. Something else you can't deny. That Mama Ngina Kenyatta made sure after the death of her husband, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the former first family never interfered with the politics of this country. Many places, countries have been plunged into chaos because those who leave power or members of their families keep interfering, putting up proxies to fight those in power, those who come after them, or those who come after their family members who are in power. She never did that. At a time there was serious agitation in this country. At a time a word from Mama Ngina would have sparked violence in this country. She kept her cool. She shielded her family. And for that reason, for that alone, she deserves respect. If for anything, if for nothing else, you don't need to like her. You don't have to like her. And she doesn't have to be an angel. Like all of us, she could be having her own problems. You can't bring that into public space and say very disparaging things about somebody. Now, this is dangerous. I want to ask us, Kenyans, to remember 2007. I want to ask us, Kenyans, to know problems engulf countries. Countries get into problems, not because of big things. Look here. If there's a big thing between communities, between countries, they sit down and talk. It is small, stupid things that send countries to war, honestly. If you look at history, including the fact that the son of a certain king wants to marry a daughter of a certain small king, and another son of another king wants to marry the same girl, and the countries sometimes go to war. So really, we want to be good people. We want to know that small things can get us into problems, and we want to avoid that. Talking about that, we are beginning to get to a point where we are almost dividing our country. We must be careful. We must be careful. Sudi went to Eldoret town in a show of defiance, in a show of might, and he was celebrated, much as Ngeno was celebrated when he went home. We celebrate people whom we should be telling, no, this is our country, we love it, you can cause us pain. Yet we celebrate them. But that's not what I'm saying. In Eldoret, Sudi spoke in Kalenjin. He would speak in Swahili, then go to Kalenjin. Unafikiri watu ni wajinga? You talk alafu unaingia chini ya maji unazama. Unachapa kitu kak, then unarudi juu. This is dangerous for the country. Eldoret is the most cosmopolitan town. I don't even think Nairobi is as cosmopolitan as Eldoret. And that's why the leadership of Uasin Gishu have always resisted the attempt to make Eldoret a constituency, because those guys will not win. It is so cosmopolitan. Why do you speak in Kalenjin? You are already advancing the narrative of us versus them. Nothing destroys people more than that narrative. When you get yourself to operate in a manner of us versus them, you are creating a problem in a country. I saw it in Kisii. The deputy president is parading the same narrative of us versus them. So us hustlers versus those others. Those others. But what was more worrying in Kisii, it is not about hustlers. Walijaribu kutuzuia. Nani ana uwezo wa kuzuia deputy president? They have sent police. Who can send police to stop a deputy president? Is it Manyora? No. Is it Raila Odinga? No. It can only be Uhuru Kenyatta and his government sending the police to harass the deputy president. When you parade those kind of narratives, it is dangerous for the country. It is also dangerous for your political future and campaign. You are being herded into a corner, like I've said, Deputy President William Ruto. You are beginning to say nasty things about Uhuru Kenyatta and his government. Uhuru Kenyatta is soon becoming the victim if you don't take care, William Ruto. And like I said, I think in an article I wrote somewhere, Nairobi Review or something like that, or on a video, in a video, kila mtu ana wenyewe. The moment you are seen to be attacking somebody's son, some community's son, the people will come to defend that person. So two things will happen. One, you are jeopardizing your chance of getting votes from Mount Kenya region, William Samoei Ruto. Two, you are helping divide the country into us versus them. Let's avoid that. And my final advice to us Kenyans, let's watch what we say. Let's watch what we say, especially as the political temperatures go up as we head towards 2022 and as the referendum of BBI comes. Let's be very careful about what we say. This is our country. We love it. Let's not do anything that would indicate that our love is questionable, because we love this country.